As a people, we've been making up stories that are untrue for an awfully long time. Cain and Abel long time. Now, if history teaches us anything, it's that new technologies often bring with them a double-edged sword. On the one side, they offer revolutionary ways for us to connect and inform each other. On the other side, they have a remarkable knack for spreading outright nonsense. Well, thanks for joining on this short Twisted Tales story. Stories that you may not even realize that you're interested in until you listen to them. As a people, we've been making up stories that are untrue for an awfully long time. Cain and Abel long time. So if history teaches us anything, it's that new technologies often bring with them a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they offer revolutionary ways to connect and to inform. But on the other hand, they have remarkable knacks for spreading outright nonsense. So let's get started by looking back at a time before Twitter, the Telegraph. This phenomenon was evident in the 19th century with the telegraph, and it's glaringly obvious today with the social media advent. While platforms have changed, the human tendency to embellish, to distort, or to outright fabricate remains delightfully constant. The telegraph was heralded as a marvel of its time, shrinking the world by transmitting information at lightning speeds. But the speed game brought chaos. One infamous case was that great moon hoax of 1835, predating the telegraph, but it gained steam when the telegraph hit the ground running. It came from a series of articles in the New York Sun that claimed that life had been discovered on the moon, complete with unicorns, winged humanoids, and lush lunar forests. The story was later picked up and circulated more widely once the telegraph made it easier to transmit tidbits of information, whether they were accurate or not. Now, another crazy example with the telegraph happened in 1872, when a telegraph report erroneously claimed that Victoria Woodhull, a controversial woman who was running for president, had been arrested for obscenity. While there was some truth, she was later jailed, and that was only briefly. The initial telegraph reports exaggerated the details, turning her into a scandalous tabloid caricature. But I think probably the most dramatic of all was the Great Chicago Fire. The telegraph that went out on that happened in 1871. And early reports blamed that cow belonging to Mrs. O'Leary. The cow, they said, kicked over a lantern and ignited the fire. Well, this colorful, utterly false detail became the enduring story for decades, despite Mrs. O'Leary getting exonerated by an official police investigation. And now fast forward to today. We've traded the technology from the telegraph to social media's speed and accessibility, which frankly has amplified the spread of false claims in many different ways. People like Samuel Morse could have never imagined what would happen. Take the widely circulated 2016 rumor that Pope Francis had endorsed Donald Trump for president. Despite it being debunked, this story was shared millions of times, fueled by clickbait headlines and partisan fervor. Another modern marvel of misinformation involved that conspiracy theory that 5G cellular towers were spreading COVID-19 during the coronavirus pandemic. The claim gained traction on Facebook and Twitter, and it prompted acts of vandalism against cell towers in countries all around the world. Scientists were scrambling to assure the public that the radio waves didn't transmit coronavirus, but the damage, both physically and intellectually, was already done. And since we're chatting about it, how could we forget the classic evergreen misinformation from celebrity death hoaxes? Just as the telegraph users in the 19th century might have spread false reports of famous deaths or moon unicorns, today's social media often kills off people like celebrities prematurely. Think about it. Morgan Freeman, Cher, countless others have all been victims of these grim, entirely false reports. The parallels between the telegraph era misinformation and social media shenanigans revealed today show us that while the tools have evolved, the fundamental issues remain the same. People love a good story, especially if it's scandalous, dramatic, or hilariously wrong. And both technologies shared a common vulnerability. Their strength or speed made them ripe for misuse. But perhaps this shared history also offers a glimmer of hope to us. If we could somehow navigate the misinformation pitfalls of the telegraph, we can certainly adapt to those of social media. After all, even the unicorns of the great moon hoax eventually faded into obscurity. A reminder that truth, however slow, often finds its way to the surface. So thanks for tuning in to Profiling Evil. I know we're not the most exciting at times, but we try to be the most accurate. We appreciate your support, and we love having you along for this journey. So don't forget to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for more updates and more insights. And folks, if you enjoy audio podcasts, we've got you covered. Just subscribe to Profiling Evil on your favorite podcast platform in order to catch all of our episodes on the go. And if you're looking for more content, you can head over to our website at profilingevil.com, where you'll find informative story maps and our missing persons and unsolved murders crowdsourced map. This is a place where you can add information from cases in your community. It's a social experience that we'd like you all to be a part of. And while you're on that website, please make sure you're signing up for the BOLO, our digital newsletter. The only way you're going to get the BOLO is by signing up at profilingevil.com. So thanks again for your support of Profiling Evil. We'll see you soon at the next crime scene.